Buenos dias, brochachos. Happy Easter to everybody. I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful Sunday, especially you, JT Hayes. And Gary is with us today. Wonderful to see you, Gary. Love your hat. It's very America, and I'm all about America. So people could take it and shove it up their wazoos. Good morning, baseball. Bad weather today for hitting. Maybe that means good weather for pitching. That is wonderful. And then last night, I watched a little Hunter Green action. Did either one of you see Hunter Green just throwing 39 pitches of 100 miles an hour or more? I don't know if his arm's going to fall off, but it looked pretty easy. Gary, you're shaking your head. It looked pretty easy from Hunter Green last night. What a badass.
Yeah, I played him a little bit in DFS last night, even versus the Dodgers. I mean, I'm just not scared of the Dodgers lineup, and the guy just throws heat. I mean, I saw him play against the Braves in his first start, looked really good, and throwing that 100-mile-an-hour 39 times. I mean, sign me up for that.
JT Hayes, your thoughts on Hunter Green? I can't imagine you have anything bad to say about him.
No, I've been impressed with not just the velocity, but the command that he showed. Very tough matchup. Actually, his first two matchups tough, at least on paper. Two teams that haven't gotten it going quite the way that we expect them to in the Braves and the Dodgers. But he looked lights out in that first start in Atlanta, only gave up the couple of runs there, and then he gives up a couple last night and looked really, really good once again. And again, it's that command of the zone with that 100 miles an hour. He blew Freddie Freeman away on a 102-mile-per-hour fastball inside that Freeman just had no chance on. And you can't say that about a lot of pitchers against Freddie Freeman or any of the other guys in the Dodger lineup. So outstanding performance. The future may be a little bit brighter than certainly this season is for Cincinnati fans.
I mean, yeah, he looked great. Verlander just looks like vintage Verlander. So it's a fun night of baseball. And then we got today, JT Hayes, I'll come right back to you because we don't have good weather for hitting today. I mean, even when the wind's blowing out, it's cold. So we got 53 degrees, winds blowing in Baltimore. We've got 47 with the winds blowing out around 15 miles an hour. We got a game at 44, 38 degrees, 51, 40, 40. And then that's the end of the slate. Like here in Colorado, we got good weather this time. It's nice and warm in LA with the Dodgers, but is this going to affect the way you attack today's slate, Mr. Hayes?
Well, I mean, in a way you can look at it and say, because you do have pitchers to attack. You've got Vince Velasquez on this slate. You've got Patrick Corbin on this slate, although the Pirates threw out like a single A lineup. And you're right. It is the kind of slate where as I'm looking, I see, okay, that game in Colorado starts at 3:00. I kind of hope that they left it on the main slate, because that's one where today you would say, all right, I've got to play that game, and it's not. And then we got some other weather issues. I think in Kansas City, we have a game in Miami that is indoors, but we don't really like to target that park, particularly on Sundays, because everybody goes out and has a fun Saturday night in Miami. So, the pricing's interesting. I think the pricing for pitching is particularly interesting. You've got Alek Manoah as the highest priced pitcher, and then Wood be below him at 9,500. I'm not paying that price for him. And then you've got some pay down options that you can look at. So definitely interesting when you think about these slates and you say, wow, the weather looks like maybe there's not going to be a lot of runs. But then I think you have to take a look at, 4 or 5 also bullpen games here. The Diamondbacks bullpen game for a very bad bullpen. Some of these other starters, Velasquez and Tampa Bay's bullpen hasn't been good either. Yes, it's cold in Chicago, but some of these guys are going to hit and some of these teams are going to score runs. It's just a matter of picking out which ones have the best opportunity based on who we think is going to get into that game.
Gary, quick thoughts on the weather today and if it's going to affect your plan of attack.
Yeah, I don't think it's like you said, it's cold everywhere. There's some windy spots that I'm going to take advantage of, like wind blowing in Baltimore from left field, which is, that's already going to be, detrimental to right-handed power bats in that lineup. Now you got 16-mile-an-hour winds blowing in from left field. I'm seeing the Yankees as chalk. I think that's an opportunity to take advantage of, fading a little chalkier lineup in those conditions. But like I said, it's cold everywhere. JT hit it on the head. You got these bullpen games. We just got to continue to attack, with these weather conditions that are the same, continue to attack these poor bullpens and poor starting pitchers on this slate.
All right. Well, let's get into this slate here, and want to let you know that we do have our new offer. It's 36% off your first payment with a promo code USFL36. So USFL in action yesterday. They got another slate of games today. We're doing cores. We're doing playbooks for that, just like we do every single sport here. So 36% off your first payment of a monthly plan by using the code USFL. Sox and baseball here. JT Hayes. We'll get into the pitching. That's where we're going to start. Alex Manoah looks like a total stud against Oakland. Although, didn't Oakland have some success in Tampa Bay, if I remember correctly? I don't know. It's been a little crazy for me over here. Zach Wheeler and Nestor Cortez. So, JT, I'm looking at Manoah, Wheeler, Cortez. Will you have shares of any of the three top shelf guys today? Maybe Cortez is not a top shelf guy for you, but he is for me.
Yeah, Manoah is a top shelf guy for me, and he's the top guy here. He's going to be the highest owned guy. He's very similarly situated, I think, to Justin Verlander on yesterday's slate, where you looked around, you saw that he was going to be 50 to 55% owned, and you come away with the thought that you're okay with it because of his talent, because of the matchup. Last night, Verlander getting a little bit of a weaker Seattle lineup with Mitch Haniger going on the COVID IL. And here today, you're right. I mean, the A's, Steve and I were talking about this yesterday afternoon when the A's were putting up some runs in Toronto, that when we did our preview podcast of the season, we said pour one out for the daytime A's, thinking they were not going to be so good. And they've just smashed the ball this first week. Now, Tampa Bay hasn't pitched well. They got some games there in a stadium that may play a little bit more favorably for hitters. And then they've gotten some decent matchups here. Ryu doesn't look like he's quite in game shape yet for Toronto, but this is a different animal in Alek Manoah. Looked absolutely dominant last week. I think it was 6 innings, 7 strikeouts against the Yankees in the Bronx. Now he's at home against his team, and I think it's a really good matchup for him. I think Wheeler's in a good spot against a Marlins team that's been striking out a lot. He a little bit concerned about what they're doing with the pitch counts there. Joe Girardi this first week of the season, and he is 10-2, so he's if I'm weighing Manoah versus Wheeler, I'm going to go with Alek Manoah today. And then, yeah, Nestor Cortez against a Baltimore team last couple of years, to be honest, that hit left-handed pitching really, really well. That park has started off very, very slow in terms of offense. It's going to be cold. Gary mentioned the wind blowing in there. Some other guys that I wrote down Savale just because he was really good last year. And, not such a great matchup, not such a great outing his first time out. So I think David Peterson against the Diamondbacks is in play. I was worried about ownership there. It doesn't look like he's going to be carrying that much ownership. So interested there. So Manoah, Cortez, you could play Wheeler. I think Savali you could take a shot on. And then I like Eliezer Hernandez for the Marlins. I just don't think that the pitch count is going to be where I'd like it to be for him just yet in this season.
So just so you know, the Royals and the Tigers postponed. I don't know how much people were going to have as far as that goes, but who knows? Maybe it's your sneaky stack or a pitcher you could have chosen from there. Gary, how about you? Who's your top guys? Is it between Wheeler, Manoah, Cortez, or you got something crazy left-hand turn for us?
Yeah, so I definitely like those three. I mean, Alek Manoah, I'm going to take the stance with him that I did on FanDuel yesterday. So FanDuel, I just locked in Justin Verlander into all. I'm an MMEer, so I've been playing 75 to 150 lineups. I locked him in yesterday. I didn't like any of the options, and so I just locked him in. And I'm going to do the same thing here on DraftKings and probably FanDuel as well here today. He's far and away the best pitcher on the slate. I'm just going to get overweight and let other people fade his 25 to 30 DraftKings points that he's going to get us today. So I'm never really a Wheeler guy. I mean, he's 10.2. He's more expensive than Manoah. I'm probably just going to fade him today. Like JT said, I have worries about his pitch count, and I'm going to be locking in Manoah. So I have no need to play anybody else in that range. And as far as the 9K guys, I don't have any interest in Wood or Savale or Ober. But yeah, I will have a lot of Nestor Cortez. We got that wind blowing in Baltimore. 8,200 seems like a very fair price. He's going to be a little bit chalky, so I'll probably be about out the field, about 30% or so on him. I do have some interest too in Bruce Zimmerman. People are going to laugh at me. I'm seeing the Yankees getting some ownership here. They just have not done us well this season. I'm going to have a little bit of Bruce Zimmerman here, and he's probably going to be like 1% owned. He's not like a core piece. I'll probably have like 10%, just mix him in a little bit. And I do have interest in David Peterson as well. So those are kind of my core, my top guys that I'm going to have in my lineups. I did look at that Pittsburgh lineup, and I wrote in Discord earlier today, I will not play Patrick Corbin. I'm going to have like 5 to 10% Patrick Corbin today. That lineup is atrocious. He's 6,500. He sucked. I get it. I will have 5 to 10%. And one other guy that I'm going to take a flyer on today. It's a scary matchup. St. Louis has been tearing up lefties in their small, limited sample, 50 at bats so far this season. They have the highest ISO in the league versus lefties. But Aaron Ashby is a very talented pitcher. He's 6K. I will have a little bit, 5 to 10%. So at the end of the day, it's the Alec Manoah show for me today on FanDuel specifically. And I'm going to lock him in all my lineups on DraftKings.
Okay, very good. Once again, let's do the 36% off your first payment on monthly plans when you sign up for Run Pure Sports at USFL 36. You're getting all the baseball stuff. You get all our cores. You get all our playbooks. What was it? Uncle T that did the playbook today, or doing the playbook today? Goes through every single game, breaks down every single pitcher. You get detailed analysis there. And it's not just for Major League Baseball. We got our NBA content. 2 nights ago, I hit pretty nice. It was awesome. We're having a lot of success on the NBA side in the playoffs for the second straight year. We got NHL, USFL. If you are into USFL, that's why we got the promo code out here. I heard MMA had a nice little night last night. I'm going to be hosting a NASCAR show next with Keg and Coop. So you think of a sport, we do it. Video games. Sorry, you kill Bill Walsh. I just had to bring that up. Video games, folks. We even do video games. So it's absolutely spectacular. Boom. Let's get into the offenses then. Do you want to do, my friends, position by position or game by game? I'll leave it up to you.
Let's do game by game.
Game by game it is. Let's go. Gary, I'm going to come right back to you then. We're going to get to our first game. So Yankees, Baltimore. Maybe you're not as high on the Yankees today. Is that what I'm hearing? We got the wind blowing in there today. I know on the bet side, they like a little bit of an over, at least for the Yankees side this afternoon. You like Zimmerman just a little bit. So break it down here. Who are our plays from the Yankees in Baltimore, Gary?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think Vegas, the Vegas total here, I see it sitting at 8, which is, I think that's very telling in this scenario. Camden Yards last year was just a launching pad. And now you have this Yankees team coming in here. The wind's blowing in 60 mile an hour. You got the extended fence on the field. You have a lineup full of right-handed bats, which theoretically, the bats aspect, this is bad for Zimmerman. But he's a fly ball pitcher. The balls are going to die in left field. I don't see them. I mean, they haven't. I've been playing them the last couple of days too, and they've kind of burned me. I can see me getting off the train here and then putting up 5 or 6 runs. I don't see anything more than that, though.
I think that's what happens, by the way.
That's kind of how this goes. But I'm just gonna trust that this park is not going to produce. I think there's a ballpark factor website that I look at, and it said today it's minus 28% for home runs. So I mean that's pretty
minus
pretty telling.
28%. Oof.
Pretty telling for me. I'm just going to fade this entire game. I like both pitchers here.
Both pitchers here. What do you think, JT Hayes? Can we dig up a Yankee or two or no?
Yeah, I think the Yankees are in play here. I think on this slate in particular, where you're looking for offenses that have the capability of producing, even if they haven't done so yet. Zimmerman went 4 innings in his first start. The Orioles, when John Means got hurt, said that Means was really the only guy that they had that was built to go deep into a ball game as a starting pitcher. So it kind of reflects what they think of Zimmerman's capabilities in terms of his pitch count. And, he's not, a very good pitcher. He's been okay at a decent outing against Tampa Bay, but I'll have some Yankees. I don't think I'm going to have some Orioles unless it's just a one-off stack to try and take advantage of the leverage of Cortez's ownership. But Cortez has been very good, and this is a matchup that he should dominate.
So that's pretty simple. Let's get through it. Before we get to our next game, I do want to remind everybody, like the show, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We get to 10,000. We're not too far away. Hoop's going to throw a big party, so it's going to be awesome. And I think it'll be very good for the viewers, even if you're not a subscriber, but you should be a subscriber, not only to the site, but yes, definitely to the YouTube channel here. Also, members never win, and guess who's winning? A lot of people keep winning. The man with a 20K hit in MLB. The man is on fire, guys. I don't know the man, but the man is definitely killing it. Drew Carp, 14K in NBA. Sam Martinez, 5K in NBA. And then, of course, a couple of our big guys here. Hoop with 120K hit in baseball. Big T, 25K in NBA. And I can't tell you again, this NBA content, it has just been absolutely stellar and spectacular. So I love it. Let's get into game number 2 here. We'll start with you this time, JT Hayes. It is Minnesota and Boston. Again, another game where we just don't have terrific weather whatsoever. But I do wonder if we can dig up a player or two. Bailey Ober, Michael Wacha. Do we want to attack either one of these guys in these conditions, JT Hayes?
Yeah, the prices for these Twins here on DraftKings are, I mean, really ridiculous here. And not, that this is the most important factor, but Michael Wacha's last start in spring training against the Minnesota Twins, where he gave up 6 earned runs in something like 4 innings. So they've got a little bit of history. They like seeing the ball off of him, and their prices, you can get this lineup a full stack for right about 20K in salary. And I think that's absolutely fantastic. I think you can look at the other side. Some of these guys here, Rafael Devers, I don't think too many people are going to play him, but he's been hitting the ball very well. Verdugo hit a home run yesterday. So I think you can, even with the weather. And 42 degrees makes it right about the midpoint of these games in terms of warmer or colder, just because we got some games in the 30s. So I like the Twins here, and like some of the Red Sox as well.
Twins and Red Sox is what we're going for. Twins and Red Sox, what we're going for. How about Washington, Pittsburgh? We'll get to that in a moment because I think Gary needs to go on the Twins and the Red Sox here. I'm just reading through a couple of things here on the site about today's slate, which is very nice. But Gary, Twins, interest?
I mean, yeah, JT nailed it on the head. I mean, man, you got Max Kepler, 2,900, Ursula, 2,100, Larnach, 2K. Gary Sanchez, 2,500. I mean, it's hard not to like these guys against Wacha. This is definitely my favorite game of the slate. I like offense on both sides here. It's a very good possibility I might game stack this in my main lineup. So definitely love both sides here. Like JT said, I mean, nobody's going to play Rafael Devers. I mean, he's facing a righty. And I see 9% projected ownership. He's 6K. I think they fit really well together as a stack. I mean, because you got Minnesota, it's really cheap, and you got some expensive bats over here on the Boston side. I think it meshes really well together. So, these two teams are my 2 favorite stacks on the slate.
2 favorite stacks on the slate. That is great to hear, Gary. Wonderful to hear. We're going to get to the next. Both teams, what is that? Both teams, as far as one game goes, it's the highest total. And one, because both of them are 4.9, you don't see 2 teams in the same game with numbers like that. Gary, Washington, Pittsburgh. I wonder if you can run it through your mind how, and I get it, the weather sucks. It's not good hitting conditions. It's not like the Pirates offense is good, but they do get to face Patrick Corbin. It's Quintana and Corbin. Come on, you can give me something or no?
Man, I don't know if I can click any of these guys' names other than maybe like a Diego Castilla at 2,300. He's a talented prospect. Maybe a one-off. I can't stack this team. I know it's Corbin. This lineup is just atrocious. I can't do it. I can't do it. But I do like a little bit of Washington here. Gotta love Nelson Cruz versus a lefty. He has a little BVP too. So I don't like stacking Washington as a full like 5 or 4 man, but I don't hate it as like a 2 man if you're doing a 5-2-1 or 3 man as a 5-3. Definitely like a little bit of Washington here, but like I said, I can't play this Pittsburgh lineup in a stack.
Yeah, I'm not so sure there's going to be too much offense from that Pittsburgh side. I don't mind the Washington side today. JT Hayes, you want to talk me off that ledge?
No, I mean, it's not my favorite game here. Pittsburgh's bullpen, not very good behind Quintana. You take a second look at this Pittsburgh lineup and remember just a week ago when I think 58% of the field played Steven Matz against this team, and they absolutely smashed him. Chavis with a 3-run home run. You got Marisnik leading off. It's been a few years, but we used to play this guy religiously against left-handed pitching because that's the only time he gets in the lineup. Still, the park, the weather, the atmosphere, it's, if you're taking shots on this, I think you're doing so because you have two very mediocre pitchers in here and you're looking for lightning to strike at literally like 1% ownership.
1% ownership. Absolutely nothing with lightning to strike. Fine. Let's just go to the next game then. It's the A's and the Blue Jays. George Springer is back. Adam Oler is a guy that was high strikeout guy down in the minors, but really, he belongs back in the minors. You got rocked in that first start. Doesn't really have major league stuff. Isn't he in his late 20s too? Isn't he like 27 already? I feel like he's been around the minors for a little bit, guys. And then you look at this lineup of the Blue Jays. They'll be popular again, and they should be. But it's like you just go down. Springer, Bichette, Vladdy, Gurriel, Chapman. Like, where's a weak spot there? This is a Sunday lineup for them. Collins, Espinal, Alejandro Kirk, always loved playing those Toronto catchers. Kevin Biggio hit ninth. I mean, we're not playing anything on the A side, right? JT Hayes, but what about these Jays today?
Yeah, no A's for me because we think that Manoah is clearly the number one pitcher on the slate. So I'm just going to cross them off. And then, yes, Toronto, absolutely in play as a full stack. And that's one of the things I think on this slate where you can do and get maybe make it a little bit easier. Is there which teams am I looking at as a 5-man stack and which teams am I looking at as a 2 or 3-man stack? And Toronto definitely falls into the 5-man stack category here. You mentioned Oler pitched, 1 1/3 innings against Tampa Bay. His first start out, he's wildly overpriced for his capability in this matchup. And I think on the flip side, Toronto's pretty fairly priced on DraftKings. Matt Chapman 3.7. Gurriel I usually prefer against left-handed pitching, but 3.9. Santiago Espinal is 2.1. He's been hitting the ball well. Alejandro Kirk is a power-hitting catcher for just 3.1. I like this lineup quite a bit.
You like the lineup quite a bit. Gary, you got to like the lineup quite a bit, right?
Yeah, everybody except Kevin Biggio. I mean, that guy's been awful recently. So I'm just not going to play Kevin Biggio. He hasn't shown me anything. But like you said, and JT said, love everybody else in this lineup. Mix and matching both of these catchers in your lineups too. I mean, I'm seeing Kirk at 33% ownership. Collins is getting a little bit more because he's a lefty and he's batting further up. So maybe going a little heavier on Kirk here would be a smart thing. But yeah, I love Toronto as a 5-man stack today.
Toronto as a 5-man stack. I like it. Like to hear that. Like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's the square in the bottom right-hand corner. Members are always winning. We make fun of that by saying members never win, but they absolutely crush. I think that started back on Twitter. Somebody was hitting up one of our big guys, and they're like, oh, members never win with you guys. It's only the big guys. And it's not true. It's just not true. Members actually win here, JT Hayes.
And Holden, that was very hurtful, but not nearly as hurtful as the fact that it's Easter Sunday morning. Mm-hmm. Passover just ended. So if you celebrate that, congrats to you. And I hope you had a nice time. We're up on a holiday. Family's coming over here. Gary, I know, has a huge family heading over to his house. He's going to open the pool, even though it's not warm enough to go swimming, just to take a look at and have a nice drink by the side of it. 55 likes. 55 likes. I'm tempted to go back and just go back and find the rest of the eggs that I stopped hunting for before I came on here, Holden.
A lot of plastic during Easter, though. We got to cut down on the usage of plastic. I got about 300 eggs in my car right now. They all have plastic crap inside of it. Enough with the plastic. Let's be eco-friendly, Mr. Bunny Rabbit. How does that sound
some
today?
People say, if we don't take care of the environment now, we'll all be dead in 6 weeks. So, I mean,
we'll all be dead
you
anyway.
Could be right.
Yeah, in a little while. It doesn't matter about Easter eggs. I will say this, though. Gary, you don't have kids, do you? No. JT Hayes, you have a kid. I went to Easter eggs last 2 weekends. We did some Easter egg hunting, and I absolutely enjoy it. The kids get excited. Yeah. The wind is blowing. It's very hard here in Colorado this time of year, so the wind blows away. It's kind of comical. You watch kids fall on their faces, especially 2 and 3-year-olds. then you just go up to them and laugh at them and chide them and call their parents horrible names. It's a good time for me, JT Hayes. Do you remember the olden days?
Yeah, that's an interesting thing to enjoy.
Yeah,
for a human being.
It's a good time.
Most parents just get excited about the look on their children's faces and seeing the Easter Bunny and laughing inside because we know that that's all bullshit. But yeah, it's a fun time.
Yeah. Okay, let's keep going here. Gary, you had nothing to add on the Easter egg front, so let's just get back to baseball with you. Maybe you have something better to do with Arizona and the Mets. And I hand the platter to you, my friend. The Easter platter right in front of one Gary. Gary, Diamondbacks, Mets. Just go, or there's some Mets bats we can find.
Yeah, I'm definitely not going to play any of this Arizona lineup, but I do like the Mets here. It's hard not to like them against this Castellanos and the Arizona bullpen today. Again, this is going to be another 5-man stack team for me. I'll love them in this spot. And I mean, other than maybe like Guillaume or however you say his name. How do you say it, JT? You're the guy that knows how to pronounce these names.
Are
the
you
guy in the
kidding me?
9-hole.
We
The
call
guy in
him
the
Louis
9-hole.
G.
Louis G. I will not be playing Louis G. But everybody else is in play for me from a stack, but no Arizona for me.
No Arizona whatsoever. You just can't do it.
Nope.
JT Hayes, can you do it? Can you do anything with the Mets today?
It's tough. This park, the weather, it's a great matchup for the Mets. And, you know, the prices, I mean, 5.8 for Lindor. These guys, they've been hitting the ball well, but I don't know if I'm going to have, I don't know if I'm going to have a lot of Mets just because the, 17-mile-an-hour wind blowing. This isn't a very good park for hitting. It's been a little better this year because of the offense that they have now. So I'll probably have limited exposure to the Mets, but I do think it's possible that they put up a bunch of runs on this Arizona team.
And you do not want Luis Guillaume.
I think there are probably better ways to fill your second base and
nice
shortstop position.
Can't you just say no? That's a stupid freaking play as opposed to just being nice about it. Why are you in such a good mood today? It's kind of sad. It's disappointing.
It's Easter. We're almost up to 100 likes after that little speech.
Well,
hunting eggs. I mean, it works.
The chat is saying that they'll give more likes if Gary takes his shirt off. Now, I don't want to see that, Gary, but if we get to 250, will you do it?
Negative.
How about nipple? One nipple.
You're just relaying the information.
Negative.
No nipples. Just one?
No. I'm not the person that used to work for this company here that does that live on the show. That's not me.
I don't know who did that. Seriously.
I mean, sure. Even if what if we gave you some pasties?
No, I'm not doing that.
Gary, a pasty?
Nah, I'll
God
pass.
damn it, Gary. Play along. Jeez, it's RPS, dude. We don't have very many expectations for how we behave. I mean, the least you can do is that. I remember taking my shirt off one time. It was wonderful. Everybody was just so jealous of my manly physique. And then I got fat. So thanks. Yeah.
One time.
Yeah, one time. Like right after we started this whole thing, it happened. San Francisco and the Guardians. How about the Guardians offense, boys? They've been off to a hot start. It's wonderful. Ernie Clement is hitting 6 today. Are you kidding me? We got Alex Wood, though, on the mound against Aaron Savali, JT Hayes. I mean, again, let's just, with the weather, just about every team has to deal with it today. Can we take a little shot on the red hot Guardians?
Yeah, if we forget about the weather, I do like to spot against Wood on the road. I personally think Wood is very overrated. I see that, he's not going to get too much ownership, but I do like Cleveland a little bit here, maybe limited to a 3-man. You do have some guys who've been hitting the ball very well to start the season. Oscar Mercado, just 2.5K in the 8 spot there. Ahmed Rosario, we always like him against left-handed pitchers in the 5 spot at 4-1. Of course, you got Ramirez, Reyes, and the guys at the top, Miles Straw and Owen Miller. It's no Stephen Kwan in the lineup. So I like it. I think it's a good lineup against a left-handed pitcher who struggles with hard contact. And then I'm probably not going to have too much of the Giants here.
Gary, can you make a case to go with some Guardians?
I mean, yeah, I always like these Guardians. They've treated me well so far. I mean, Owen Miller, I mean, I just pull up his box score. He's 2,600. You can play him at first or second. I mean, he's got 14, 7, 31, 14, 17, 23 DraftKings points, all in the last 6 games. Jose Ramirez is always a stud. I mean, I probably won't 5-man them just because I don't like the bottom part of the lineup, but definitely in play for like two or 3-mans for me.
Definitely in play for a 2 or 3-man. Okay, let's go see what's going on over here. Like button. Mike, I did not have a long night. It was a wonderful night. I convinced my girlfriend that we should hook up today and not last night because the Nuggets were on and I had to watch some Nuggets. Had a lot of money on a lot of different games. Introduced my daughter to gambling last night. She's 7. She did not place a bet, but I did let her know that I had a significant amount of money on the Rockies. So when she went to Coors Field and froze her ass off last night, because the dumbest thing to do is go to a Coors game at night in April, I said, at least Daddy's going to win if the Rockies win. And she was very happy for me. How old were you, JT Hayes, when you introduced the youngster to DFS and betting?
My nephew. 4? What's that?
4, 5? What's a good age?
When I was introduced to wagering?
No, a youngster in your life.
Well, my nephew is very good at math, and he's become very interested in this. So we talk about this from time to time. Now he'll tell me about basketball players that he thinks are going to do well. So it's a pretty cool thing. But I haven't just yet taught him how to download the site or anything like that.
You have not taught him how to do that. How old is he again?
He's 16. He's a little older.
Oh, that's very old. I mean, guys like JJ on the bet side, his dad had him running numbers at 6 years old. So I don't feel bad about buying my 4-year-old son a scratch-off ticket once in a while. Come on. It's a lot of fun.
Well, it's something people don't realize is that half of this site, Run Pure Sports, is DFS. The other half is run by the New Jersey Mafia. It's fantastic.
Oh, you're so correct. Okay, so we'll move on to our next game here. What a great line, JT Hayes. What a great line. We only have 1, 2, 3 games left. We're almost going too fast, so that means we'll actually be able to take some questions. Philadelphia and Miami, we don't have weather concerns here. I mean, do we? I don't think so. It's warm there, and I think the roof is probably – do they ever play with the roof open in Miami, Gary? Are we familiar with this? I never see the roof open. Yeah, you're on mute, buddy.
Rookie. They do sometimes, but I'm not familiar. I haven't seen anything on it today.
Okay. Yeah, it's in a little bit. I'll go look it up, but do you want anything in this game?
No, I'll pass. I mean, Hernandez is a decent pitcher. I'm not paying these prices in Miami. I'll pass on this game for sure.
You're going to pass? JT Hayes, you're going to pass?
Yeah, I'm gonna pass here.
Gosh, it's a little just a little bit too simple with these games that we're crossing off today, but they've done it for us. The weather and the teams have done it for us. Detroit and Kansas City rained out. Don't play anybody. As the sites will tell you, you will accrue 0 points if you do so. Tampa Bay and the White Sox, though, there is somebody on the bet side that likes a Tampa Bay team total today. Gary, I don't know where you stand on this game. As far as the lineups go, we've got both of them out, and I don't see really watered down lineups on either side today. Frierson will get to start the game. Vincent Velasquez going to the mound for the Sox, or the Sacks, I should say. What about the Rays and the White Sox here, Gary?
Yeah, so, I mean, awesome matchup for these starters or against Velasquez to start. But, I mean, one thing I try not to do is attack this White Sox bullpen. It's pretty good. Even early on this year, I think they're like 4th or 5th best xFIP in the league. So I definitely prefer the White Sox side here over the Tampa Bay side. And Tampa Bay, I mean, they just have a couple guys in here that can get pinch hit for. I like some White Sox, but not as high on the Tampa Bay side.
White Sox not as high as Tampa Bay side. JT Hayes.
Yeah, I think you can maybe look at pieces here, but even with Tampa Bay, the way they're going to manage this game, it's going to be like an inning and a third, an inning and a third, an inning and a third, different pitcher. And, 40 degrees, wind blowing sideways. I don't know how much I'll have of this game. Like, I think you can chase some of the power guys here, but, and Gary pointed this out on the Tampa Bay side, you look up and down this lineup, G-Man Choi, Josh Lau, Margot, a bunch of these guys are going to exit the game at some point, right? That's just the way that this team is managed.
Let's see here. Oh yeah, they're doing the NBA show, guys. It's fine. They decided to do the NBA show during the baseball show. So I am going to lower the light count. Instead of 250, I'll just do, like 170. How about we do 175? Ding dong JSU. Come on, JSU. I'll call Johnny AirPods after the show and get on him. What's so funny?
Run Pure Bets is in our chat. They heard about our comment and give me the warning.
I don't see anybody in our chat. Who's in the chat? Settle TF down, JT. Okay. I got it. I don't know.
My wife, if I leave for travel next week and I don't come back, you know where to look.
I don't know. Can you show me your tattoo on your arm, please? Can I see your tattoo?
Right around the Meadowlands.
Yeah, wonderful. Gary, are you worried about being buried around the Meadowlands because you are in just doing the same show with JT?
I have nothing to do with that. So
no, you did because you know what happens.
Guilty by association, I guess.
Right. You witnessed the crime.
I am a lot closer to New Jersey than JT, so maybe I should be a little worried.
Where do you live?
I'm in Virginia.
No way! I didn't know. What's your address?
My address.
Gary? What town do you live in?
I live in Yorktown.
No
Virginia.
Shit. I like Yorktown, man. A lot of history there. A lot of good stuff, like the guillotines that you could put your arm and your head in there. And I don't think it's a guillotine, but they used to trap people that way. And I'm pretty sure that's what the Run Pure Bets guys are going to do to JT first. They'll put him in one of those, whatever the hell contraptions it is, let him stand there for 3 or 4 days, and then they'll just chop his head off. And you're not going to be in the Meadowlands, JT. They'll dump you in a river. Or you know what? Probably in the ocean. It'll be a lot easier. They'll never find you. And we'll have the JT Invitational every year. We'll make a big DraftKings tournament for you, okay? It'll be like, let's remember the great time of JT before he was murdered because he opened his big mouth. How does that sound to you?
Listen, I mean, they're telling me now first and last warning, so I gotta watch it.
I'm telling you, bro. You think I'm kidding? I don't know which one to be afraid of the most, though. I'm not worried about Keg. He can't walk very well. JJ seems like he's too silly. I'm thinking Joey Work or JJ's dad comes after you and probably murders you.
No, Joey Work and I have a special relationship.
Oh, that's what you think.
So yeah, I'm guessing it'd be the parent, but I'm calling right now. As soon as we get off, I'm hitting witness protection. So that's it. See ya.
I mean, the NBA guys, it's like, screw the baseball guys. And then let's screw the bets guys too. JSU, we're coming after you, buddy. And thanks for putting me on NASCAR too. That's great. Can't talk more baseball this morning. Anyways.
Who's your favorite truck driver, Holden?
My favorite truck driver is, Alphonse. He is also with Run Pure Bets. What he does is he takes all the stuff that falls off of other trucks and he puts it on his truck and then he delivers it to the rest of the Run Pure Bets crew.
I like it.
Yeah. Who's your favorite?
Bobby Labonte.
Oh, you were talking about NASCAR. I was talking about
out of thin air. I don't know. It's a name I heard once. I don't know.
Yeah. Bobby Labonte. Gary, are you into the NASCAR?
Not really. I mean, I used to be, but not really. I think this new car is a little crappy.
Okay.
To be honest.
We did Tampa Bay and the White Sox, so we only have one more game left. I would think that the roof is closed in Miller. Yeah. St. Louis and Milwaukee. Yes. Game of the day. Maybe so, maybe not, but we don't have any lineups for this game. JT Hayes, Aaron Ashby, the lefty, Dakota Hudson on the mound, Cardinals and Brewers. Talk to me. And by the way, chat, since we've got a little extra time, why don't you throw some questions in there and I will read them and our panel will answer them for you. So we'll actually take questions this morning. Yes, JT Hayes, the final game on the slate.
Yeah, this Cardinals team has just been hitting every night, it seems, playing really well. Ashby, 3 1/3 innings, first time out. And if I'm not mistaken, that was in a relief appearance. So I think they're planning to use him in a hybrid role here. He'll start, he'll go 3-4 innings. He'll come in relief some days, get him in the mix 2-3 times a week. So I won't have any of him just because I can't predict how long he's going to be able to go here. And because the Cardinals have been hitting very well. The Brewers, as Gary will tell you, have not been hitting very well. But Dakota Hudson, some advanced metrics on him suggests that velocity a little bit different, run on his pitches a little bit worse. And one of these days, he's going to give up a lot of runs. He didn't do so well in his first start against Kansas City. I'm not going to go overboard on Milwaukee, but I have to believe that because they're major league hitters, some of these days during this season, they're going to score an outlier number of runs. St. Louis bullpen pretty good. So if I'm going to play Milwaukee, I'm going to keep it to 3-mans, focus on guys like Wong, Rowdy Tellez, maybe Omar Narvaez, maybe even Yelich in a lineup just in case he decides to remember what it feels like to hit a baseball. Other than that, I will have a couple of 5-man to St. Louis, just kind of take advantage of the disarray of this Brewers pitching staff early in the season.
Gary, last game of the day. We don't have lineups yet, but do you have any thoughts on how to attack it, if at all?
Yeah, so I pretty much swore off the Brewers last week for the whole season. So I can't go back on that today or any other day. I will not have any Brewers in my lineups. I'll just, if they beat me, the one time that they score, more than 7 runs in 2 months, like, so be it. I'll pass on them. But yeah, it's hard to ignore the St. Louis team, even versus a talented, top prospect for the Brewers in Ashby. And Nolan Arenado, I mean, he's only 4,700. And I mean, you look at his DraftKings box score and 8, 27, 3, 16, 16, 28, 18. He's hit in every single game so far. He is definitely the highlight here, along with Tyler O'Neill. I do like the 5-man stack here for St. Louis quite a bit.
We do have one more game on FanDuel. Angels Rangers. I believe I saw the roof is open, right?
Roof is open.
Got a little roof open today. That changed things just a little bit, Gary. You want to talk about FanDuel? Maybe the Angels Rangers, and maybe a player or two that we didn't include on the DraftKings side.
So I love this game on FanDuel. It's probably my favorite game on FanDuel. I mean, it's probably going to come in pretty low ownership. I would think outside of maybe like a Mike Trout, he's 4,100 over there. But yeah, I mean, love everybody in this lineup. I haven't seen any lineups yet for these two. But yeah, definitely love both sides here for 5.
I just got the Rangers. I literally just got the Rangers. Simeon, Solak, Garver, Lowe, Garcia, Banez, Culberson, Calhoun, White. So not the sexiest lineup.
Still, I mean, I still like both sides here for Mitch Garver versus a lefty, batting third. Sign me up. He won't be owned on FanDuel. Nobody likes to play the catchers over there. Versus a lefty. Like I said, I like both sides here for 4-man stacks on FanDuel.
Are you playing a FanDuel today, JT Hayes?
No, but I mean, you look at the weather and the wind in this stadium and what's been going on there the last week or so with the roof open. And I got to believe that if it's not popular, it should be, and you should have some here. This Texas lineup against left-handed pitching, I think it's going to be good all season long. Top to bottom, Semien, love Solak in the 2-hole. I think he's got a lot of talent, particularly against left-handed pitching. Adolis hasn't really gotten it going all that well this season so far, but a great matchup. Kitty Banez is good. Even Charlie Culberson has gotten in the mix here. So really, really good lineup they're putting out. Martin Perez, kind of annoying to stack against, but Shohei has had a really good series here. Seems to be coming, right along, just picking up where he left off last season. So him, Trout, and maybe Stassi. And, Joe Adell showed that, maybe he's going to have a little bit better season this year. So if I'm on FanDuel, I'd be looking to have pieces of this game in my lineup, just based on the fact that it's the best environment on the slate.
Okay. We'll take your questions now. That's great. Let's do it. Alex, that was kind of Alex's question there with LA and Texas. So we got some FanDuel plays there. Who were the pitchers? The top 3 pitchers, I think, was pretty easy, right? I'm going to try and go off the top of my head. Manoah, Cortez. I know, Gary, which one of you does not like Wheeler very much? Which one of you is off of Wheeler?
Gary? I'm off Wheeler.
Yeah,
I'm
Gary.
off Wheeler.
So I got Manoah, Cortez, and who's the third guy then that we have?
Let me get David Peterson.
David Peterson's your third guy. Okay. Yeah. And it's just the big 3 for you, JT, Wheeler, Manoah, and Cortez.
Well, I said if I was debating Wheeler versus Manoah, I would go Manoah today on this slate. So that means I'll have a lot more of him and not a whole lot of Wheeler, maybe some. You could play Cortez in a good spot. I think you can play David Peterson a little bit A little bit concerned about that pitch count. 4 1/3, I think, innings his first start out, but it's Buck, and that could go up pretty quickly as the early season progresses. So it'd be those 4 as the primary guys, and then there may be an opportunity to mix in a guy like Savali. That's pretty much it, though.
That's it. Okay. If you guys don't have any more questions, we're going to get out of here in a second. I'd love to stick around. We got another 5 minutes or so. Hit the like button on your way out then. We're only at 1:31. I know we got a show that is going on right now for basketball, which kind of cuts in today's viewership, but no big deal. For those that are playing basketball, I highly recommend the show. Go back and watch it because the NBA, of course, very, 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 very popular today. So you got that. Plays of the day, stacks. We still need to get to that. So let's do some stacks here. How about that? Gary, give me your favorite stack today. And you can go on that FanDuel slate with the Angels Rangers if you want to. Favorite stack today, and then a secondary stack. Gary.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good stacks that I love today, but I think I'm going to side with Boston here. I think I really like Boston. I like this ownership that I'm seeing on them here on this slate, and Rafael Devers is definitely hitting a bomb today. And for as far as the secondary stack, I do like. We talked a little bit about Cleveland earlier as like a little 2 or 3 man. I definitely like some Cleveland as a secondary.
Ooh, Cleveland as a secondary. Yes, JT Hayes. What do we got today?
Yeah, Joe A. Nobody said they liked Corbin. I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Somebody said we like Corbin.
Yeah, nobody likes Corbin. Even his parents at this point. Minnesota, Yankees, Toronto, and then Cleveland for a low-owned sneaky stack.
Okay, all right. I am going to do the plays of the day with you boys now. That'll be wonderful to hear. Plays of the day. Gary, what's the name of your play of the day? I'm going to ask you every week because I just don't remember shit these days.
I'm pretty sure it's still the Braves homer play of the day.
The Braves homer play of the day. Well, Gary, without further ado, what is the Braves homer play of the day?
So I'm going to take this guy from Cleveland. He's going to come in at probably less than 5%. I'm going to keep riding Owen Miller as my play of the day.
Owen Miller. JT Hayes, give me a play here.
Yeah, I'm going to go to Cleveland too, just because I like the matchup. Talked about it against Alex Wood. Ahmed Rosario, very under the radar, outstanding against left-handed pitching. I think he has a big game here.
I think he has. Do you think the Mets are upset they let him go, or they're fine with the guy that they just paid a lot of money to?
What's that?
Do you think the Mets are upset that they let Ahmed Rosario go, or are they just very happy with the guy they gave a ton of money to?
I don't know that that franchise has the capability for reflection.
Yeah.
To understand when they've made drastic mistakes, because they seem to repeat the same pattern over the last 20 years. And that's being serious.
That's the Eiffel Tower play of the day, by the way. See, I like the Franimal today. Is he too big of a name, though? That's the question.
Yeah. I think this Cleveland team as a whole, if you stack this Cleveland team, you're going to get a 1.5%, 2% on stack.
Yeah, and I'm right there with these guys have just been unstoppable. I mean, if I'm on them and that's the day that they end up crashing and burning, oh well. But I'm just going right there with you in that lineup. I think then the Franimal hitting one ahead of him, ahead of Rosario today or behind? Ahead of him, right?
He's in the cleanup spot. I think it's a great
I love
spot
that.
for him.
I love the middle of that order today. And you're right, JTA. Nobody's going to be on him. Like button on the way out would be great. 36% off your first payment of a monthly plan. That is with the promo code USFL36. USFL36. 36% off your first payment of a monthly plan. Just a couple things here. Chad Morrow sitting on the toilet listening to both shows. I don't know how you can be successful building lineups if you have multiple people talking in your ears about multiple things, but maybe the toilet really focuses you very well, as it does many of us. The other one, can I play Miller Cleveland as a one-off? As a one-off? Would you want to play Miller? Owen Miller?
I don't see why not. The dude's, I mean, just look at his box score. I mean, he's been lights out. I picked him up in season long and I'm starting him every day. So I would definitely, he's 2,600.
The other thing here, because RPS Goat is talking about the weather in Cleveland, and he's right. He's not wrong. Weather in most of these parks is really going to be difficult today, even in Fenway, where we like those teams too. But the other thing about Cleveland, you got Kirk Casale behind the plate today. And these guys earlier in the season have been active on the base paths. So you've got 7 guys in this lineup that can take second, and probably half of those that can take third. So when you're looking at a team to stack on a slate like this, where offense may be depressed, I want that stolen base upside. And you've got it from Straw, Miller, Franmil even. You've got it from Rosario. You got it from Clement. You've got it from Oscar Mercado. That's 7 guys in the lineup that can steal a base, that can take an extra base on a base hit to the outfield, that can help turn the lineup over. So I think that's what I'm looking at least when I'm thinking about Cleveland today, despite the weather.
All right. Very good. I think we got everything that we needed to do, boys. Gary, wonderful to see you again. JT Hayes. And I actually do enjoy working with you, JT Hayes. It really is one of the more fun things to do.
I love you too, Holden.
I'm serious. We're just thinking about the fun we could have on an Easter Sunday together. It'd be so great. Gary, have a wonderful day in Yorktown, Virginia. I hope all your wishes and hopes and dreams. Have you ever dressed like a Puritan?
Negative.
You should do that. So, Simon, thank you very much for the show today, for running us behind the scenes. We will be back with a NASCAR show here in about 10 minutes. For JT Hayes, Gary, I'm Holden. Simon, please get us out of here.